In your putrefaction, find joy, not doom. My garden expands with every spore. Nurgle's love will launch you to the core. Perfection's fleeting, decay endures. My plagues and proxies are nature's cures. Mortality's a gift, not a curse to bear. In the course of death and rebirth, none are spared. Embrace the rot, let pestilence bloom. In putrefaction, find joy, not doom. My garden grows with every spore. Nurgle's love will rock you to the core. Embrace the rot, let it seep into your soul. Putrefaction makes you whole. Resist you may, but time's on my side. Every living thing will join my ride. So cast off your fears of age and blight. In putrescence find your true delight. For in my realm all I cherish so, let my blessings upon you grow. Embrace the rot, let pestilence bloom. In putrefaction find joy, not doom. My garden grows with every spore. Nurgle's love will rock you to the core. My garden grows with USC, rotting flesh and festering deeds. Embrace the rot, be reborn anew. Pestilence, find a love that's true.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another live stream. Hopefully, as I said, I'm trying out some new stuff tonight, so hopefully I haven't completely broken it, and I hope this is all going to be running. I can see that I have already broken one little bit. Hold on. So I'm just trying to fix the little chat widget I put on the screen, which I thought was being clever. How am I being clever? I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me just try and fix this, because that would be quite embarrassing. So maybe we'll just ignore that bit. Right. Welcome to the stream. It appears you've got me on camera. You have got some graphics on the camera, and obviously Sierra, I have to apologise for absolutely scaring the absolute shit out of you apparently. So apologies for that. Don, glad you made it after giving me some crap for yesterday. Yeah, we just wanted to try some new elements to the stream and see what we can do with it. So I'm just testing a few layouts and bits here. Hopefully that will continue to work all right. Graphics in the bottom left are from previous bits, so they're going to if you like, comment and subscribe, and if you do subscribe, hopefully we'll get some nice little graphics if anyone joins. If you super chat, it will come up. If you kind of leave a heart, I think we get some graphics there. So I am playing with it. I'll continue to try and improve this as we go. Aidan and I will continue to play with it. Epsilon, good evening. Hope you're doing well. As I said in the chat on the Discord, Aidan is kind of having, I think, what sounds like a bomb removed from his house in terms of a in terms of a boiler that appears to not have been fitted very well. So his house is a little bit waylaid from that. Will is in Greece having a lovely time and staying on the beach, getting some things. So I'm calling him Wind Down Will at the moment. So he's feeling very chilled out, and that's good. So unfortunately, you've got me and some slides up here. So I'm going to show you a few bits. So firstly, I just wanted to say if those of you who didn't get scared the crap out of at the beginning by what is now basically our theme tune, Robert Lopez, who's got an account on YouTube called Endless Tavern, created the Embrace the Rot song. Somebody, and I'm not sure who did it first, shared it into our Discord. It's an absolute banger of a tune. So I reached out to Robert and asked if we could use it on the channel, and he said yes. And I said I would call him out for it. So thank you to whoever shared that on the Discord, and also thank you to Robert. Huge thank you for you letting us use it. So we might use this track every now and again if people like it, but I personally really like it, so I kind of wanted to put it on. So today, what we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about Space Marine 2 and how effing awesome it is. I don't know if everyone's been playing it or not, but this is my current attempt. I've been playing it stupid amounts. I've got all the armor unlocked, but I was like, Death Guard infantry needs to keep it quite basic still, and kind of trying to get a bit of a pallid hand vibe going. So that's the kind of look I'm going for at the minute. I'm currently playing the heavy class, so I'm rapidly leveling up the multi-martyr, which is almost at relic level, and running around the plasma pistol. So yeah, pretty good fun. I just quite like the idea of just marching along towards the enemy like we do in Death Guard, blowing the crap out stuff. So yeah, let me know in the comments if anyone else has been playing and how you're finding it. Maybe we could get a few games going amongst people in the Discord if people want to get on with it. Epsilon, what are you saying? Oh, I thought that theme would have been AI. It sounds pretty similar to the Robert created it, I think, using a mixture of AI, some writing of his own to create it. I think it just kind of feels quite marchy and quite good for us. So I personally liked it as a Death Guard theme, hence it's on. But what we're here to talk about, a couple of things. So I went to my first event of the year because it's been mad with work and everything. So I went to the St Albans Slam, which was on the 7th of September at Darkfire Cafe in St Albans. I've just put the graphic up for their next event because the other one's been taken down. But they tend to run a monthly RTT. A lot of good players turn up to these. You as well as you get some new players. The crowd is always really, really good. There were 18 players at this one. It's 3 rounds. It uses the first 3 rounds from the UKTC map pack. And there was a really good selection of factions at the event. I was pleased I played 3 separate factions, which is good, as I have ended up playing multiple factions in the same event, as I'm sure we all probably have at times. And it was a really enjoyable day. Some ups and downs, and I'll talk you guys through that as we kind of go on. So, what did DGD take? That's me, obviously. So hopefully you guys can read this, but basically took the Biologist Putrefier, took the Foul Blight Spawn, took 10 Plague Marines to go with those guys, stuck them in a Rhino. Then I took 2 Plague Casters for the Plague Bus. They went in another Rhino with another 5 men, another 5 Plague Marines, shooty with one heavy melee weapon in the squad, and then one on the champion. Typhus. Then we took 3 units of 10 Death Guard cultists, which are proving very fun at the moment, and I'm really enjoying using those. Then a brick of Death Shroud Terminators because it's me, and of course I would take Death Shroud Terminators, Lord of Contagion in with them for the rerolls. And then on the Allied front, this is where there's a bit of a mix-up for me. So we talked about it in the previous stream, and Aiden's talked about it a lot, so Will. Took Roticus, took Nuglings, took 2 Brigands, and a Consul. So that was just a bit. Thank you very much. That's incredibly kind. And is there anything you want to elaborate on with the puke? Just that you like is that puke for the list? Is that puke for the event, or is that puke for how this stream is going so far? Let me know. So for me to run this kind of list, the War Dogs, Roticus, and the Nurglings are different. The Nurglings obviously were useful to kind of try to stop anybody infiltrating onto a point. Didn't mean they couldn't get on there afterwards, but 3 of them were able to be a bit of a pain. Roticus, after chatting with Aidan, I reserved every game, and I brought him in usually on rapid ingress. Even though he's absolutely enormous, and I thought it would be a nightmare, I got him in into places I wanted him to be. Again, in all 3 of my games, pretty much, and he is hard to shift, except in one instance. Really, really helpful. Puke is love. That should be on a t-shirt for us, I think. Thank you very much, Derpa. And yeah, the War Dogs were there, basically 2 Brigands for a good bit of shooting, even though range isn't good on a lot of these UKTC boards, as we looked at in the previous stream. They're pretty close. The maps have all been brought closer together. There's some more cover, so you can kind of stage a bit easier. And the Carnival is obviously brilliant just for a good charge. So let's get into what I took, well, what I went into, should I say. So we went into first Aeldari against a player called Casper Lamb. I also want to call out at the beginning of this event, all of my players, all the players I played were brilliant. Hung out at kind of the breaks, lots of good chat, lots of really interesting comments from people about their armies, what they're thinking of. A few people going to LGT, which I'm hoping to see hope to see them there and hope they do well. The guys were everyone were great players. The games were played in really good spirits, and they all played at a really good pace as well. So really happy. So I'm just going to jump into the chat to look at a few bits. Pretty similar to what I'm looking at. Epsilon to run. Really interesting how Roticus goes. Lots of cultists, though. Personally, I've really no clue how to lose them. Well, I'll try and talk to that because I used to run 1 unit, and then I started running 2 last year, and this year I've been running 3. So I'll talk to that in a minute. And the Chad, just got into DG, enjoying it so much. Brilliant. Glad to have you as part of the Death Guard community. I hope you are enjoying it. If you kind of go back, watch some of our videos, read some of the comments, you'll see that this community is really positive, but also really realistic. About where we are in the meta at any given point, what we're capable of doing, sharing tactics, sharing ideas. I only played. Everyone here knows, but and on our Discord, our membership, I only play Death Guard. I've only ever played Death Guard, but I'm still enjoying it now, and even through the tough times and the dark times. But the Chad, welcome. You are very welcome. I'll say again, people, like, comment, subscribe, and the Chad, if you want things like list analysis, we do a plague surgery, but you have to be a member, and you can join the Discord, and you get access to it. Prometheus William, good evening. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining. How are you using your DSTs? I use DSTs as a sledgehammer. They are my favourite unit in the game, Derpa. I'm either taking 18 of them to LGT, or I'm taking a Porphyrion and 6. So it all depends whether Aidan and Will can talk me out of taking a giant knight to it. So we'll see. Teleman, Tallman, sorry, I want to check I was reading your name right. Still unpacking after the move. How's it going? How was the move? Where have you moved from to? Really good to have you here. Thanks for joining. Epsilon, played Tau in 9th. Glad you ditched him. I'm glad you ditched him too. Must be a very shell shock of a change, going from something that can't hit to things that can hit really hard, and things that were fast and things that are now slow. No drones yet, Chris. You would think so, but you can play without them, and I'll talk to some of the games, and hopefully it will give some insight into a few bits. Disflux, yo, good to see you, man. Thanks for joining. Really pleased you're here. And playing your Stinky Boys, good. Tall man. of course, well, once you're unpacked, you can get that stuff back out. So what I'll do is I'll jump into the first game now. I'm going to confession here. I took some photos for the first game, and then I pretty much completely forgot in the second game because it was really, really intense in a good way. And then my third game was intense for a different reason, and but I can still talk through what kind of happened. Derpo, would you run a 6-man DST with Typhus, kind of stuck with the 2-3-man, each escorting after an LOC? I don't tend to run them in threes, and that's a personal style. As I said, I like to play kind of sledgehammer Death Guard. Aidan plays toolbox Death Guard, and I always put if I'm running 3 units, I'll put an LOC with both, and then I will stick I'll stick Typhus with the other one. Or if I've got points kicking around, I'll put a sorcerer with one and then Typhus solo still. I still find he's useful to drop in, Eater Plague something, and then Destroy Hive something, and then and just act as a bit more of or deep strike scoring unit. I would play them with the rerolls. The rerolls to hit are just absolutely monstrous. And when we were all originally playing it with the LOV for supporting the Plague Burst Crawlers, Don, I think it was you who kind of one of the ones who I think we were being a bit down on the LOC, and you said, "Oh, but the rerolls to hit," and I think we all went, "Oh yeah." So I've definitely been using the 6-man with that. They can kill anything in the game pretty much, and they did. So I think you've got 7d6 flamers. You're on closer maps. You just get them into combat. They can be re-rolling all your hits. You pop sustained 1 on them for 1 CP, and suddenly you are raining death on things. So I would definitely do that. If you're on someone saying if you run Typhus with a 6-man, they become more of an anvil. Yeah, I would agree with that. Disflux, you're painting a disgustingly resilient implied purchase of Roticus. Cannot wait to see that. Please do share that. Tallman moved from NC to you have to confirm me. Is that North Carolina to Mississippi? Seems a little light here. Move went pretty smoothly. Wait away to decide where I'm putting things and hanging things. Well, hopefully you can bring your stinky boys to just like smash the new local scene, just rock up and destroy it. I think 6-man would be great. Honestly, I didn't want Typhus on his own. Typhus is, if you drop him into the middle of something, I think I may have a picture in it. If you drop him into the middle when there's lots of other things around, people will perceive other things to be bigger threats that are in bigger units or vehicles, and he'll often just get away with it. And also, when you drop him down, just make sure you put him down so that his base is partly obscured, and that way, if he does take any attacks, then you're going to make sure that you get cover. Derpa, thank you so much again for puke is love, and maybe don't puke on people at work, but we'll keep the puke here. Thank you very much. Take care, man. Good to take a 6-man. That's the right move. Lazy, hi, how's it going? Welcome. What did you miss? I'll explain that in a little bit as to what happened in the game. We've just been kind of chat's been kicking off, so we've been really chatting for the first bit. I just showed my list previously, which is Derpa, don't puke on anyone. Then you won't be working, and then you can't super chat. The lazy, I just talked about my list, which is from the previous chat, which you were in. So there's most of that in there. It's the usual Plague Bus, usual 10-man with Foul Blights, Bomb Biology, Putrefier, 6-man DST with LOC, Typhus, then 2 Rhinos, the Roticus, Nurglings, 2 Brigands, a Carnivore, 3 units of Cultists. There we go. That's what we were on. Michael, hello. You've also always played DG since 8th. Collected 1 or 2 of everything. Is it possible to run 2 of things and still be competitive? Yes, run 2 lots of Death Shroud Terminators. I have a cabinet over here with only Death Guard in it. I've got pretty much 3 of everything. I've been playing since halfway through 9th. I got dragged into this by a mate who plays Custodes, and he basically badgered the hell out of me to come and start playing, and I chose Death Guard because I happened to be reading the Lords of Silence, which is still my favourite non-big Horus Heresy book, particularly the Siege of Terror books. So it was really good. yes, it is possible to do it. You can run things like 2 drones. You can run 2 lots of Death Shroud. You can run two Lords of Contagion with them. You can run 2 Predators. You could run. There's lots of good duos you can put into the list, and also if it's what you've also if it's kind of what you've got and what you like to, then you can run it anyway. You can be absolutely competitive. You don't need 3s. In my list, yes, I ran 3 cultists, but I also only ran 1 unit of 6 Death Shroud Terminators in this list we talked about a moment ago. Yes, I did have where I don't have 3 of everything in the list, so you can absolutely do it. Don, where is your Volks conversion? Who are you talking to? Is that me? And what do you want? Some kind of voice changer on the on it? Oh, where is your Volks conversion? Yeah, really good point. I definitely should get one done. I might go and talk to Siege again about that one. He is pretty cool, and we do need him. I'd love to see him as a character to pop up in the codex. Epsilon, there's no reason why you have to run the rule of 3 other than presumption that your list is hyper optimized. Completely agree. We don't need to run 3 of everything. In fact, if you look at Don's character list, I mean, Don runs every character in the game multiple times and then some other things. So Hawks is the best Lord of the Death Guard. Yes, he absolutely is. Yeah. Lazy, run for fun, then run to win. And I've listened to Lords of Silence a few times in the car. Can recommend. Yeah, it's brilliant. Buried Dagger's good as well. So there are a couple of good ones. I'd really hope we get a couple more Death Guard novels coming out. That would be really, really good. I'd like to see some more, and I'd love some more Lords of Silence. Right. I know we're all here for some stories about an RTT. So let's have a little look. So this is just after my opponent's turn 1. So I haven't gone yet. So I'm deployed here. He's got 2 Wave Serpents. Actually, sorry, we should probably talk about his list. Apologies. Let's talk about his list. He's playing. So the other thing is, I don't know about you guys. I like to see a bit of a pun name in the titles, or just people to put a title for their army in there. I think it's a good thing for people to do. So Casper took a good list. It's not super meta. It's not off. He said himself, like, he likes to play what he likes to play. He doesn't just copy the kind of meta lists out there. And he said he also has to struggle against his nature of just going out and trying to kill everything, like hitting the pedal and just shooting the crap out of everything. So he took a list that was mixed up of Death Jester, the Autarch, Farseer, Skyrunner, Spirit Seer on the character front, Guardian Defenders, 2 Wave Serpents, some Dark Reapers, some Dark Avengers, a Hornet, which I hadn't seen on the table for a very long time, some Howling Banshees, some Shining Spears really fast, Striking Scorpions fast, Wind Riders fast. Scorpions can infiltrate as well. So it was a very fast list. I think I sent this to Aidan to say this is what I'm playing first, and Aidan's comment was just speed, which wasn't incredibly helpful or insightful from the world's #1 Death Guard player. But we take what we can get. So I kind of went into it going, this will be interesting. Haven't played Aeldari at a table for a long time. So we'll see what happens. So this is what kind of happened. We had a unit of see, look, and can everyone appreciate? Look, mouse on the right side. Hopefully you can see it. So we are learning. Seers over here, Fire Warriors over here, Mold Bikes here. Sorry, Shining Spears here. Shining Spears here. 2 vehicles benefiting from the cover, as you can see on this map. These 2 new 6x3-inch pieces are pretty new. Could you go through the roles of each unit in the enemy army? Someone familiar? I will try. I am not the biggest expert on every army in the game. I will, but I'll talk to what he had them here for, Epsilon, as we kind of go, and what bits were kind of happening. I may have to let Death Guard Cat out in a minute. So just if I dive off over that way quickly, I'm just going to let her out. In fact, I'm going to do it now because otherwise she's going to meow at us. Okay. So this the vehicle back here has basically got two effective las cannons on it, bright lances. It's 48-inch range. It's good anti-vehicle. He's got the fire warriors here just for some control. The shining spears are fast bikes with some lances, so they're kind of okay in melee. And then they've got shuriken cannons to deal with squishy infantry. These are some howling banshees, which he was using to basically just kind of get forward. And I think he actually picked up some cultists here. Was what I did. I put cultists here. I hit some cultists behind the building here. In fact, I think, to be honest here, I went first. So I've got cultists behind the wall here. I had cultists out here, and I had cultists in this building here. So he started with his scorpions here, behind here. They moved, they charged, they picked up the cultists in this building. The deployment zone, by the way, is, I'm going to see if I can just, I'll just see if I draw it just really horribly. It looked a bit like this. It was like that one. So that's kind of the way the layout went. So what basically I did here is I kept my death shroud on the table. Rotigus is in deep strike, so is Typhus, and the plague bus is in reserve. So I've basically put some units out to kind of get him to do something, and he's landed on this point over here. Oh, there's a rhino pushed right into the corner of this building here as well. And the cultists that were out here, which were going to go for, if I went first, we're going to move out, I've just fallen back into this corner so I don't just lose them as well. So in my turn two, or sorry, in his turn two, I've dropped Rotigus onto just onto the middle. Rapid ingress him into the middle, which he basically left enough space for me to do that. I had then pushed up the cultists that were behind the wall here, and they then charged his wave serpent. These cultists stayed in combat with the wave serpent for 3 turns, which was really funny. Epsilon, what I would say is, let me go back. The reason for having 6 Death Shroud here is because if anyone comes onto the middle, then you've just got to basically come out here and you've got an easy charge. Or if there's stuff that's in this ruin here or coming around this side, you just pop out from behind the building and you've got your flamers. So on this map, and it also discourages anybody coming straight through to you. And with the cultist just an inch off the wall here and the Death Shroud an inch off the wall here, it basically means anyone has to come right the way around to get to the war dogs as well, the shooting dogs. So even if they had it was an opponent that could get in fast, it deters people from doing it. That's why I had them on the table here, just to kind of discourage anybody from coming into the middle of my deployment zone or dropping in the back in case anyone has got a strat or some sneaky ability to do it. It means I can then just annihilate any infantry with flamers. So that was the reason for having them on the table. So in my turn 2, I kind of think I'm gonna put some pressure on him now. So I pushed the Death Shroud up to the wall just to kind of then have a bit of space. They're kind of, there's one of them in here as well. The Lord of Contagion is there. I push up the two dogs. So I've basically got some shots across these guys. There were some more units out here which I've got shots on. You'll notice his vehicle in the top left here has disappeared. That's because the plague bus came on from rapid ingress and did plague bus things and just annihilated it with the spray. I dropped out the 10 plague marines to do the 5 plague marines from this rhino to do terraform, and he's still got some wraith lords off the table, which are the kind of walker bigger units that look a little bit like mini dreadnoughts. They've got some really good shooting, not very good in melee. They're not that tough, but he had them in reserve. So Rotigus moves 7. Rotigus moves off the middle because in my turn it becomes infected, and then basically charges the wave serpent over here. I ignore the striking scorpions over here because he hasn't got any secondaries that are scoring for it at this point. And like I said, I push the Death Shroud into here. I push the War Dog up to get shots on this, and then it charges it and does tank shock. And then I bring the other War Dog up so that I start to have some firepower too. This was for redundancy shooting over at the I can't remember what it's called, the Epsilon, or the vehicle that's up in this top corner, and also it picked up some infantry that were left up here. And I've staged. Then, like I said, I've got these 2 rhinos here to stage for these. Sorry, these Plague Marines. It's actually the 10-man Plague Marine squad is sat behind this wall with Fight First, and the 5-man is still in with the Plaguecasters. So then, after the Roticus basically smashes up the who infected the middle. So it was sorry, I'd had some cultists on it before Lazy. Sorry, they'd done it in the previous turn, and my opponent didn't flip it over. And then basically I dropped Roticus onto the middle because he was that was the only place he could land within 9 away from the 2 serpents. Yes, John, it is pretty nuts. Roticus smashes up the Wave Serpent after puking on it as well, and then goes into charge. And my opponent decides that he's basically going to go, right, I'm going to surround it. So he's got Shining Spears, he's got some Banshees, and he's got 10 Scorpions in here to try and deal with Roticus. And then, as you can imagine, what basically happens is they all hit Roticus and don't really hurt him. My Death Shroud came out from behind the wall, charged the. This is afterwards. They charged the unit that was wrapping him. So I managed to get a big enough charge that I went with the character and 1 Death Shroud into the Scorpions, and all the other characters, all the other Death Shroud went into the Howling Banshees. The Shining Spear was 1 bike left on the point. Just the character and the Death Shroud with sweep, and I put sustained on them just to pick him up because I had CP to burn. Just the character and the 1 Death Shroud picked up all the Scorpions. The other 5 Death Shroud Terminators obviously picked up. Yeah, it really was Lazy. They picked up this obviously picked up the Banshees, and Roticus smashed the last bike that was left, the Shining Spear, and then just moved on to the point with a consolidate move. Over here, what happened was he managed to kill the Rhino that had. I can't remember what he killed it with. I think it might have been the Wraith Lords. He killed the Plague Bus. So I disembarked backwards to make room so that the 10-man could get into the Rhino that was there, and then basically sorry, and this was in the previous turn, they'd gotten into it, and this is towards the end. I then moved the Rhino up. When they disembarked in my turn, they got out, and then I made sure all the Flamers were out front, and the Flamers basically annihilated the Wraith Lords that were behind this wall. There were a couple left, but they got picked up in the next turn. The Death Shroud just moved back towards the middle point in case I needed it. And what we ended up with, this is the end. This is the bottom of the turn. He just had the Guardians here, which talking about what they were there for, Epsilon. These guys can overwatch on a 5, and they get quite a lot of shots. But it's fairly loose, especially into T5. Daisy, that's wicked. Thank you very much. Very, very kind. So if you guys did get given a membership, we'll make sure you say thank you very much. I'm going to get this up here. There we go. I misordered the new graphic. So guys, congratulations. If you check out the description or the homepage, you'll find out how to get to the Discord. Please do go and have a look. Join in there for the chat. But that was the end of game 1. We were finished in about 2.5 hours. I'm just going to find you the score because I forgot to tell you what it was. Round one was and I was on table 3, by the way, for my first game. It was 90 to 54 to DeathGuard in game 1. You'll see that basically I kind of happily let the vehicles disappear and had still enough troops to basically sit on the points and basically pretty much strangle the primary. So even at this point here, I had this one, and this one. So the game was good. It was I thought it was going to be really tough, and I think it probably would have been against a purely meta list. But as I said, Casper was a really aggressive player who wanted to play what he wanted to play. So a lot of fun, and yeah, good first game. Yeah, it kind of was. I think once I'd tied up things and got into position, then and the fact that I managed to get Rostikus onto the middle and get him into play nicely, and the Deshra were just there, just kind of guarding the back. Yeah, I kind of agree. I think he, like I said, he was trying not to be aggressive, but that's kind of the way it went on that game. The second game was against Chris Arlo. Chris was playing Necron, so I was like, you know how when you're looking at the pairings, and particularly in a smaller event, and you can see where the points are, I was like, I'm going to get Hypercrypt. I'm going to get Hypercrypt with super slow Death Guard. This is going to be fun. So yeah, I was like, I wasn't particularly looking forward to this. In Chris's list is, and by the way, Chris, no fun title. Look, just Necrons, but you know, I guess Necrons are robots. They're just like enter a list, Necrons. So they literally did that. So we had Shard of the Nightbringer, he had Shard of the Void Dragon, Hexmark Destroyers, Imatech, Stormlord, Locust Lord, Deathmarks, more Deathmarks, Flayed Ones, Locust Destroyer, Locust Destroyer, Locust Destroyer as single units to just keep popping things down and just being able to just slowly deploy. Locust Heavy Destroyers, more Locust Heavy Destroyers, which are all flat 6 damage, and then a unit of Lich Guard and the famed Monolith. So yeah, that was I was looking at this going like, this isn't going to be very fun. But it was fun, and we had a really good time. And we had a game that was done in 2 hours. It was one of those games where you're playing with someone that knows their army really well, and you know yours, and you're rolling dice fast, and it's like it's this AP, it's this damage, it's this save, bam, 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 and you just know you're trusting each other to play your armies. So definitely had a really good game with Chris. And Chris, if you're watching, thank you very much at all. Well, Epsilon, you say that. No, I didn't actually. So I kept off the board. I kept Rossi off the board again. I kept the Plague Bus off the board again. Kept Typhus off the board again, and I think that's kind of where I went with it. So this game we had the diagonal slanted deployments going in. And just to talk about a few of these bits, Sierra, peace out. Okay, take it easy. Please do watch it on replay, and yeah, hopefully the rest of this will be enjoyable for you. Yeah, Lazy, the Monolith is just the best terrain piece. I was talking to my opponent about it, and he was like, I was like, how wide is it? Like, what's the width on it? What's the dimension on it? And he was like, 5 inches, and I was like, no, the model, like corner to corner, like it's like 9.5 inches. I was like, yeah, that's better. Had to do some screening, so all 3 of my cultist units were actually on the board and were sitting behind cover on the table. So they were blocking out my deployment zone. There was some strong cover in the middle. There were 2 L-shaped pieces of cover in the middle, and he had his Catan in there when we came, and both of them were just behind this section. When it came to deployment, I was deployed way before him because he was like, there's 1 model. And I was like, okay, I'll do this. There's 1 model. And I was like, okay, got to put this down. There's 1 model. But it didn't turn out to be too bad in the end. For those with Hypercrypt, he can basically pick up 3 units at the end of my turn, each battle round, and then bring them back in from reserves. So the Monolith can just go up in the air, come down and lay waste to things, and it has a lot of high damage weapons. So I know this is coming. And I know he's going to be doing this. So talking about who said they love a go turn? The Chad love a good go round. I basically looked at it and went, if I don't go quick, then he's gonna mess me up really badly and just piecemeal me with things. So I put the Death Shroud into the middle ruin and one of them and start sabotaging. He put some flayed ones on the middle. I think expecting me to jump out of cover and go for them, but I don't. I just leave them there. I move the carnivore up behind the wall towards the middle. I push the rhino up behind a ruin at the top with the 10-man in it, and then I basically just go, okay, over to you. So he then, yeah, I know. Tell me about it, Epsilon. So he then brings the Void Dragon and the Nightbringer right next to each other, and they just come out from behind a wall towards the middle objective, and so he brings them out. He's picked up the monolith. He drops the monolith down at the bottom of the table to get a shot, and decides to put everything into the. We have a discussion, and he's like, "I'm gonna maybe thinking about killing some cultists," and I'm like, "Overkill the carnivore. It's the biggest immediate threat to your monolith. Just make sure it dies." They get sustained D3 on sixes, and he rolls I think 3 6s and a 5 for the death raise. And death raise is the right word, and just blows the carnivore off the table. So he does that. He moves the Nightbringers the Catan up, puts the moves the what the hell are they called? The Immortals from behind cover, charges the Nurglings that I'd put to try just to stop him kind of getting onto the bottom point. One of the Nurglings, I go, oh, you've probably killed them, but I'm going to make you roll it just because it could be an interesting start, and he doesn't kill them all. One of them lives, but they're not holding the point or anything, and they're just tying up that unit. But he's charged onto the point, so it's fine. So I go into my turn 2, and I'm like, right, it's go turn. So I bring Roticus in at the top to within 12 of one of the Catan. I bring the Plague Bus in at the top within 12 of the Catan. I drop Typhus in behind a wall, sticking out a bit with line of sight on the Catan. I disembark all the 10 Plague Marines with the characters from behind a wall in front of the Catan, and I bring the Death Shroud out from behind a wall onto the middle point toward 2 of them because the others, the flayed ones, are still there. And I've got easy charges all over the place as well. And he's like, right, so you're quite committed at the top then? And I was like, yeah. So I basically kill the Void Dragon and take the Nightbringer down to like 2 wounds, and it's going to die next turn. So I'm like, I kill the flayed ones that are on the middle. I kill those, and then I've basically then got Roticus has come on. He's at the top. The Plague Bus is there, and I've got a load of Plague Marines in the middle. So suddenly I'm all over the top of the board. He's kind of at the bottom, and we're clearly heading for a bit of a swirl. So then in his turn, he takes my home objective, dropping putting the monolith on it, and then putting some hex marks on it. Kills another war dog with the monolith. Just can't hide it, and the monolith is just obliterates that stuff. So I've got 1 brigand left. Kills some more cultists. Brings on some destroyers at the bottom of the map in my deployment zone again, and moves a few of the individual models back, and then picks up the Nurgling with his Immortals, and then just moves them on the. Keeps them on the point, but keeps them away enough that I can't charge them with the Death Shroud. So it does the classic manage Death Guard by take measure. In my turn, I charge the destroyers that on near his home objective, and then consolidate onto it and take his home objective. So we've swapped home objectives. The Death Shroud come across the middle, pick up destroyers in the ruins in the middle, and tuck into that. We're playing Purge to Foe, by the way, so it's kill more. I need to kill 1 more unit to in this instance to get kill more. And so I've got a War Dog, and he's got some hex marks, single win models no invuln, 5 of them this side of a wall. So the walls walls here. They're on this side, and so I move a brigand to get line of sight on them, and I'm like, cool. Hits on twos. I've got 12 shot autocannon. Got 2 thermal spears hitting on twos. I'm winning him on 2s and 3s pretty much. Got havoc launcher for D6 shots as well. Shoot everything into this 5-man, and 90% of the time that unit is dead. I kill 2 of them. And I'm like, oh, okay. And this is the only unit I can get the kill more on, and it's a really, really tight game all the way through, every round, really tight game. So I roll the. I'm like, I'm going to charge them. So we measure it, and it's an 11-inch charge, and this is one of my favorite charges of all time. So I roll it, it's 6, and so I'm like, CP reroll, and the guy's like, Chris is like, what are you talking about? I'm going to CP reroll it, and I just know it's going to be an 11. So I pick up the dice, chuck them in the tray, no preamble, just like bam, 6 and a 5. In he goes, 1 CP, tank shock, pick up the unit. It was one of my favourite CP rerolls of all time. It was completely stupid, and you shouldn't do it, kids. Say no to 11-inch rerollable deep strike charges. Don't do it, but it was great. And that gets me kill more, keeps the scoring level. We've kind of swelled and changed positions. We're now going to get to the bottom of the game. There's we've both done quite a lot of damage to each other. He moves the monolith to just up kind of north of my home objective, kills the other war dog. I've brought the Plague Marines are back in the Rhino from the previous turn. Typhus is on the middle. I get onto the middle with the I get onto the middle and basically take that back. I stop him scoring. I'm keeping the primary type, and then I draw Storm Hostile Objective, and in the previous turn, and I think I had to get I get Marked for Death. So he picks the Immortals, which are on the bottom objective, and are. And he's done his turn. He's scored, so he moves off of the objective and out of range of the dash round. So I can't get to move him with the 12, and he deliberately moves them more than 12 away after seeing what happened last time. The monolith is marked for death, and so I move Typhus through a building and then advance him and roll a 6 on the advance. So I get him into within 18 and visible on it. I disembark the Plague Marines again out of the Rhino, so they move 8. They're within 5 or 6 of the monolith. Full squad. It's all sprayers, etc. And then I drive the Plague Bus round the corner to be within 12. Shoot the Plague Bus. So I shoot Typhus, do 5 mortal wounds to the monolith. I shoot the Plague. I shoot the 2 plague casters out of the plague bus, do another load of wounds to it, shoot the foul blight spawn at it, throw grenades at it from the biology putrefier, do 3 or 4 mortal wounds to it, and then the flamers kill it. So I get marked for death off of the monolith at the end of the game, and we basically got to the end, and Chris was actually keeping score on this one. And it was an incredibly close 92 to 87 loss for me. So it was a 5-point game against Hypercrypt with Death Guard against a good player. I was super, super happy with that. I don't know, looking at the game, what I could have done differently to have won it. Hypercrypt is a very, very, very difficult beast to fight with Death Guard. Just had to kind of keep playing the primary game well, keep scoring kill for kill on kill more. It's a really important one to kind of stay in that matchup, and it's probably just secondary draws. But yeah, a 5-point game. I'm really, really happy with. Yeah, it is a lot of crap to remember. Epsilon. So yeah, that was a really good game. So I'm on that was on table 3 again for my second game. So for my third game, I'm on table 3 again, and that was against somebody called Matt Hollocks. Now Matt has actually watched videos with him. He plays Death Guard as well. So Matt, if you're watching, hello. It was really good to meet you, and really good chats. Matt brought World Eaters to the event, and Matt, I found in one of my ruins in something. Is this I don't know if this is your one or if it's someone else's. It might be a. Is that a Zangle or I don't know. It's somebody's, but I found it in my bag like after the event, so I don't know. One check it wasn't yours. The Yeah, sorry, that should say round three. Round three versus World Eaters. Yeah, Matt, great player. Once again, used a good name on his army: kill, maim, burn, etc., etc. Yeah, World Eaters nonsense, which was really good. So he has Angron, he has Khan the Betrayer, he's got Lord Avocado, he's got Master of Execution. It's good already. We're liking the look of this stuff. He's got the Jackals. Corn Berserkers, more Corn Berserkers, more Corn Berserkers, World Eaters Rhino, then 8-bound, Exalted 8-bound, and then some Spawn. Thank you, Walter, for confirming that. As a only Death Guard player, these things are just there to be killed. So he's got a good army. It's an aggressive one. I haven't played World Eaters since start of 10th, so. I didn't really know what to expect from it very much, and I was kind of feeling pretty confident going into it. Now, Don, I have a bone to pick with you here. My gut said, Craig, how are you doing? Are you all right? Thanks for joining. Yeah, Don. So my gut said, and I always listen to my gut. I don't know why, but I did a what would Don Hewson do moment. I was going to take -1/-1 into these guys, and then I remembered a post you put up where you were like, always take -1 save. Now he does have a load of rerolls, so that kind of discouraged me from taking -1/-1. But my mistake here was not taking -1/-1 characteristic modifier. I should have taken that. The game was good to a point, and then I'll tell you what happened. I get first go, I move all my cultists out, and then I advance, and I basically put him in cultist jail at the start. I basically block the top part of the map. Sorry, I have to alternate it because for the stream. I block him into his deployment zone really nicely with the cultists, with some Nurglings to stop him scout moving. And I'm like, cool, I can do that, and then I can move into space. What happened over the course of the game was Matt rolled amazingly. Every single turn, he got advance and charge and feel no pain. He also then made, I would say, probably 70% of every save. And to give you an example of the feel no pain saves, in turn 5, or turn 4, I put the plague bus into 10 jackals, and I rolled. I think I got 11 wounds through, and for damage I was rolling 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, and he's at the end of it, he still had 3 of them left from feel no pain saves. It was absolutely unreal. I couldn't kill Angron, and then Angron went into both of the, even after I fought him, and then managed to hit him back with some Death Shroud, and then attack him with Typhus after hitting him with some shooting and the Eater Plague, and Angron still lived on a wound. And then Angron went into Angron fought back, killed Typhus, killed the remaining Death Shroud that were there. In his turn, went into the 2 War Dogs, killed both of them. He just moved so far. It was good. He did really well. I had no idea that Exalted 8-bound could get Strength 15 attacks. They killed Rotigus really easily. And he just saved so well. But it was a fun game. We got done in good time. So Matt, thank you for the game. It was fun. There's really not much to say more than I couldn't kill it, and I couldn't tank it. It was I should have. I know what you're saying, Epsilon, but having played that game, and in that instance of saying why I should have taken it, even on rerolls, there were 2s and 3s in there, which would have been 4s. Even on rerolls, that would have reduced massively the amount of hits I was taking. So look, when it turns into a dice situation as well, you can't do anything about it. And I've done it to people. I've had games where I've rolled 70% of like 5s and 6s in a game, and just really stopped and shut down my opponent doing stuff. So it happens. so we got through it as a game, and well done. I think Matt got third as well at the event, which was really good, and my second round opponent Chris got second. So it was really good. Though the score doesn't reflect it being really good. The score in round 3 versus the World Eaters, I think was 94 to 56 to him. So it was a big win for the World Eaters, and well done, Matt. But given the first round was a win versus Aeldari, I was happy. Basically a draw, almost, well, not basically, trying to up-talk it, a very near draw versus Hypercrypt, I was especially pleased with. And thought I played that game really, really well. And then, versus World Eaters, they did World Eater things, and it was it's what happened. So, really fun event. So only 1 win, 2 losses, 1 loss, very, very close. Happy overall with it. It was good to get back out on the table. I've got LGT coming next weekend. So I'm going to be in London Friday night, there Saturday, obviously there for the game on Sunday before coming back. Then I'm going to be at Leicester in December, and then LVO in January. So really, really enjoyed playing some competitive 40k again. And it was nice just to kind of go and do a whole day of it. Really great opponents. If you are near St Albans or you ever fancy doing that, do check out the St Albans Slam at Darkfire Cafe. Really good. Has anyone got any questions before I kind of wrap this up? Thank you all for joining. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, Lazy, for giving out some memberships. Derpa, when you watch this back, thank you again for your super chats. That's really, really kind. I guess I'll give you some conclusions. Rotigus is good. 230 points, 270 if you include the Nurglings, but that gives you an infiltrate block, and you get him in. His base is enormous, and it looks like you'll think you'll never be able to get him on the table, but I rapidly ingressed him every single game. Just think about leaving space and where you're going to put him. When he comes down, huge amount of wounds, 4-up invuln, T12, is the 2d6 AP2 damage 1, I think it is, but it's an AP2 spew, really, really good. And then if you're putting something else in contagion, him halving OC was really good in the Necrons game. The War Dogs were good. It was nice to have some shooting. Prometheus, thank you so much. That's super kind. This is our plague planet on the internet. I totally agree. That's very kind of you. Thank you. The War Dogs were good. It was nice to have some different shooting. I think that getting used to using them again is probably needs to be at practice. I really enjoyed the Carnival more. I'm thinking that I might rather take 3 Carnivals and go for some really aggressive pressure play. So that could be good. I did miss. I think I could have had more fun with more Death Shroud. For my play style, I think I could have been a bit more of an aggressive player and done some more with that. But overall, it was a good mix of units. It's got melee. The list I played has got melee. I'll go back to the top. So it's got melee. The Plague Wing squad was pretty useful. The ability to chuck out the grenades. The flamers were really good into the Aeldari. The Plague Bus was legendary as always. I think it's pretty MVP. I think it's a good mix of things. I'm not sure if I'm going to play this exact list at LGT. I'm going to leave it out here, and you guys can talk about it in the Discord or on here. I posted the pictures. I've got the Porphyrion coming, and I have built a list that's that and lots of infantry, and I'm really tempted to take it. It is not the right move to play from a highly competitive perspective, but I think it would be fun. Definitely at least a few times to shoot some stuff with it. It's either that or I'm going to take 3 units of 6 Death Shroud as my core part of my army. So I'm going to have a think about that over this week. I think list submission is probably going to be Sunday or the middle of next week. I think lists are going to open Sunday. So if you've got any thoughts on that, please do feel free to leave a comment or to leave it in the Discord. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. Check out in the links Element Games, check out Vanguard Tactics, who Aiden and I both play for. Do check out Etsy for the Saltire Games products range that they've been doing with us. I think a lot of people have been picking those up, finding them useful. And a big thank you to, sorry, this side, mirrored, Robert Lopez. Have a look at Endless Taverns. If you play other armies or you like other armies, he's made songs basically for everything, and they're really cool. So yeah, I think this is our this is probably where I'm going to sign off, unless anyone's got any last questions. And if not, thank you all very much for joining. I appreciate it so much. So do Will and Aiden. They'll be back next week. And like I said, we might do a short walk to LGT kind of chat. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Stay rotten, look after yourselves, and we'll see you back on the Play Planet. Take it easy.